Hello, and welcome to session 29 of Primordial Harmony, rigmarole of the modified adventure, Princes of the Apocalypse. I'm your DM, Mike, and I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Nyx. I play Ilaria, who's a Wood Elf Ranger with her trusty companion, Panther Valor.
I am Senna, and I play Delia, the Gnome Wizard.
I am Kitties, and I play the illustrious Hum, who is a gnome bard.
Hello, Internet humans. My name is Miles. I play Tadias Adenoff, a Seeker Asamar.
I am Zaffin. I play Acro Vitalis, the Fire Genasi Shovel Knight.
Alright. When we last left the excavators, after vanquishing the Burrow Shark sentry, the party continued on to escort the newly liberated residents of Orborough back to their town. A few hours into the journey, Udarnik met them, the dragonfly landing on Tadias' shoulder. Chilled by what this could mean, Udarnik was sent back to town so Tadias could get eyes on the cause of Derek sending the dragonfly back. What he saw was a fledgling militia led by Ranharo fighting off a massive insectoid group of creatures. Spurred by this, the party continued to hurry on back to town, and upon returning, found a fight underway against another one of these insects. However, as they entered the town, Ranharo delivered a final blow. After a heartfelt reunion between Athen and his son, Ranharo informed the party that these attacks had been happening since the morning, the creatures burrowing up from the ground and attacking any in sight. As they spoke, multiple of these beasts, these ankegs, burst forth from the ground. With the help of the party and a Renwick, they were dispatched easily. The excavators then settled in for the night, taking a well-earned booze break, Zachariel cooking up a delicious gumbo from the meat of the ankegs, over a discussion on how to fortify the town further. The next day, the party set off on the 4-day journey back to Forthstride, wasting no more time to cure Tadias of his lycanthropic curse. On the way, activities of the Way Shields apparent on the road and activities of the Forthstride militia apparent on its outskirts. Nearing the city, the party met with Marshal Chanzal, carting Knoll remains with patrol. From him, the party would learn of a severe labor shortage at Elemental Arms, impacting the militia's supply of elemental whetstones. Closer to the city, the party drew near Zachariel's home. Another sweet reunion was had, and all was well, except for a bit of a tiff from Floriana, but we'll gloss over that for Zachariel's sake. Meanwhile, the rest of the group made their way to the Temple of Helm and began the process of ridding Tadias of his curse. After a battle of will, Tadias walked out of the temple, bacon-free, and was able to face his family without fear of bestial fury. Later that evening, as Hum was winding down with Delia at Twiddles and Fiddles, Gizo informed them of an individual spreading word of a strange ritual occurring in the hills south of the Conadir Forest, piquing Hum's concern. We return to our story, with Illyria under the pale moonlight atop the northern hill of Forthstride. Let me get some pro music. Let me OBS up a bit. And all right. Notes. So, describe for me how Illyria is sitting near the the well pond at the top of the hill. She and anyone who ever wondered about it, what it is it's a wellspring that is sort of popped out of the hill and has that river that leads down to the main river. How is Illyria sitting near it? Just paint us a picture.
Just, I think just sitting beside it, kind of putting her fingers in it, Just kind of like daydreaming.
And Valora's sort of somewhat curled up next to you.
I
Kinda
think
s-
she's looking in the water too, just kind of thirsty, maybe wondering what I'm doing.
Yeah, eventually taking some laps of water. One moment, I'm sorry. Now, does Illyria intend to just hang out there all night, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So you're just hanging out, sitting maybe on your heels,
I'm
and
thinking like eventually I'll go and meditate, trance or whatever. Just kind of think about what tomorrow's gonna bring.
okay. You're sitting there. A few hours passes. You're just collecting yourself. A guard walks by and he says, "Ma'am, are you all right?"
I'm fine, thank you.
He just kind of like looks at you, scratches the back of his head, just kind of, like, "Oh, all right," then just kind of carries on his merry way. So, eventually, you intend to walk back to your place, or are you gonna trance there?
I'm gonna trance there.
Okay, so eventually, with the warmth of Valora around you, you drift into your trance, and you dream. Um,
I'm dreaming.
Sorry, music transition. Oh my god, are you serious? I copied a URL from OneNote and it's pasting as a picture. Why would I do that? Okay. You're gonna have to turn this down on your own. Alright.
Ooh, pretty.
Oh, I need to make sure. Okay. You're in the mountain forests of your home. It is near dusk, the emerald light dimming. You sort of find yourself in your younger self. A warm hand clasps yours. Altosi's. Illyria, come on, before it gets dark! He starts to lead you in a
What is
direction.
it, brother?
He kind of has your hand and he's just kind of dragging you along. He's just a little bit faster than you, but you manage to, keep pace. The earth and undergrowth is soft beneath your feet. The air is comfortably cool on your skin.
How old would you say we are?
Elven, pre-adolescence. So,
Okay.
I'm unsure of a year number to give, but that's the formative years, you know what I mean? So, he takes you to sort of a top of a hill, and you see this tree, this broadleaf tree, and he kind of just sits down, he crouches down, and kind of looks up at you, smiles, and he says, "Watch." And the sun setting as the dusk starts to set in and stars can be seen twinkling between the leaves above you. You watch as the leaves on the tree begin to glow with a pale blue light. And
What's happening?
he says, "This is a bright leaf tree. It glows after dark. Isn't it pretty?"
Oh, of course it is.
he smiles in the glow, and he looks at it for a while, and then he kind of scoots a little bit closer to you, kind of presses his shoulder to yours, and he says, "Dad says the leaves of this tree always glow, no matter what. Autumn comes and they wilt. With the storms of winter, even the most stubborn stragglers fall and die. But then spring brings them back again, and each time they come back, they still light up the dark." He takes your hand and he looks at you and says, "We might grow up and the world around us might change, maybe even will change, but I'll always be your brother." And he hugs you.
I hug back.
And you wake up to the sun shining down on the pool ahead of you, and you see Valora sitting next to you, looking at you. She meets your eyes with hers and presses her forehead against you, purring. It is morning.
I hug Valora.
So, it is now morning. Let's cut back to Zachriel. Zachriel, you are in bed with your wife. You wake up and you find her just snuggled up against you. What do you do?
I attempt to move, but if it disturbs her, I lie there as a board.
Yeah, so you
like
move.
trying to sneak out of bed.
Okay, so you move a little bit, and I definitely assume that you've doffed your armor. So
Yeah.
okay, so you try to move, and you kind of realize that she has her arm like draped over you. What would you like to do? You just lay there?
Yeah, I just lay there.
Okay. The minutes pass like hours as the light filters into the bedroom you two share. And a few minutes pass, and you kind of feel her stir a bit, and she just kind of
I
turns.
pretend like I'm.
She kind of just turns a little bit, her arm kind of looser, kind of like her hand is near the middle of your chest as opposed to like across. And then you kind of feel like she's starting to shift her position. And then she eventually turns away, but her back is still pressed against you.
I'm just gonna get up
Okay.
and just slide out of bed.
So, okay, are you just gonna do it? Or are you gonna try to do it sneakily?
No, I'm gonna like not like don all my armor and stuff, but I just get like I don't know, like house dressed, like comfortably dressed.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
gonna go-
What I was asking you was, do you want to roll stealth to get out of bed?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get out of bed.
But what I was asking was, do you try to do it sneakily, or are you just hopping out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
All right, roll stealth. Okay. So you rock the bed a little bit as you get out, and as you're still sitting down and like about to stand up, she just grabs your wrist, and she kind of pulls at you, and she says, "Good morning."
Oh, good morning. I was trying to get up without waking you. Sorry.
That's okay. And she kind of like grabs your arm a little bit and then pulls herself up, and then just kind of like leans against you. So she's gonna offer to make breakfast. It seems that it seems that from what you can tell, she's sort of over the events of last evening.
No. You stay here. I'll bring you breakfast.
She says, "No, I need to get out of bed." And she just kind of shifts around, and she stretches and goes about getting up. And
Well, I guess we're cooking together then.
She says, just the way I like it.
Well, I need to go into town later. I have to talk to Gordon. There's Ouroboros is missing some defense.
Oh, really?
Yes, a lot of their guardsmen were, unfortunately, they're no longer with us.
She says, she just stretches and roll a perception check.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
My passive's 14.
Okay. So, you, oh, I wouldn't have asked you to roll. You look around and you see, on the dresser, it's a very familiar looking badge. And it looks like it's a rookie way shield badge.
Is that my old badge?
She starts and she gives a giggle and she says, no, actually, that's mine.
This is very surprising. What are you doing with a... You've been working.
She says, well, since we live on the outskirts, and she, like, lifts her hand and, like, some electricity crackles between her fingers. She says, since I've sort of gained power, I figured that if there is any trouble on the outskirts, I could help the militia and collect. She winks at you.
You should still be careful. I mean,
Oh, of course, I'd keep my distance.
bad enough I'm out there risking my life every day. I have to worry about you doing it.
I talked with Gordon about it. I'm sure I'll be fine. I don't go looking for trouble. It's if they... Then she, like, tilts her head. Go on.
I said, well, you are strong.
She grins when you say that. She says, I don't go looking. If they approach, I step outside and defend our home. She gets a proud kind of smile. She moves her shoulders around.
Have more sense than I, still.
Smiling, she just kind of like touches your shoulder. That I do. Let's make breakfast. And we'll cut to...
I show her the cookbook.
Okay. She finds like an equivalent ingredient to some exotic interplanar thing.
I also ask,
Planer.
before you switch, I ask her what a mango is.
She... Huh?
Just...
She gets a puzzled look on her face, and she says, I think I've heard of that somewhere. And then we'll cut. Let's cut to Tadias. You're on the floor of poor decisions.
Yeah.
No
What time is it, roughly?
terrible dreams for you. What time do you think you'd wake up?
I had a harrowing day. I'm gonna sleep in a little bit.
Okay. So you wake up and then you're just like, I'm gonna go back to sleep. So you go back to sleep. We'll come back to you then. Hum. What time do you think Hum would wake up?
Hum's up bright and early.
Okay. What's she doing?
She, does her routine, gets ready, and she runs downstairs. She wants to talk to Gizo a little bit more about this other bard.
Okay. You come down the stairs, and you see Gizo doing what he always does in the mornings, cleaning dishes and setting everything in order.
Morning, Gizo.
Morning, Hum.
What's for breakfast?
He says, I thought I'd have the boys in the back make omelets.
Ooh, what are you gonna put in?
He says, well, kind of ordered a bit too much cheese, so it's going to be really cheesy.
Just my style.
So he shouts in the back to get a super cheesy omelet for you. A few minutes later, it comes out. piping hot and fresh.
And I lean over the bar and I say, Gizo, this woman, this bard, is she better than me?
He says, he kind of gets like this surprised look on his face, and he says, he blinks a bit, kind of looks away from you, polishing a glass, and he's out. I heard a bit of her stuff. She's not bad. I don't know if she can top you, though.
That's the right answer.
He chuckles and puts down the glass, picks up another one, starts polishing it.
I'm trying to look at my notes to see if I found out when she was here last. When was she here last? When was she in town last?
He says... Now I'm checking my notes. He says, oh, by the way, it's the morning of the 17th of Myrtle. He says, if I remember, she left a couple days ago, the 15th?
You know if she's scheduled anywhere in the next few days?
If she's scheduled? Not off the top of my head. I don't really keep tabs on that.
Okay. So what's been going on in the town since I was here last, besides this Wunder?
He goes into how people's homes have been mostly repaired. The sewer system put in by Clear Currents has been mostly repaired. He talks about... He mentions he heard from one of his patrons that a sort of weird jumping ship from one of the elemental guilds, though he can't seem to place which one. He says, I don't... No, I can't remember the name. He was very angry when he wasn't angry. He was very disgruntled, and when I asked him about it, he sort of blew me off.
Which patron?
He says, I don't remember everyone's name that comes in here. There's a lot of halflings in Forthstride.
Thought I would ask.
I'm sorry.
She goes into small talk, telling him about her adventures
Okay.
in Ouroboros, and,
Cool.
they just chat.
Alright. Then let's cut to Delia. Delia, you wake up in your soft bed.
Okay, I want to wake up pretty early, like as soon as the shop's open, and then head to the nearest tailor with some of my extra, like dressed in like regular school clothes, and take my starry robes to them.
Okay. Okay, give me a second.
And then also some of the extra fabric that I have, because I'm doing clothes shopping today.
Okay, so, you go to one of the tailors on the main drag. And, we'll say they're here. And, you see a little orange dot. Right there. And, you walk in, and, there's a human and a halfling. The human is looks like they're sewing something in the sort of farther into the back. You can see them moving and making the sewing motions, but you can't exactly see what they're doing from where you are. The halfling is just sort of sitting at the counter, and when you enter, she puts her hands down. She says, "How can I help you?"
Hi, I want some. Do you guys sell cloaks and like regular cloaks?
She gestures around, and there's all kinds of different garb here.
Okay, I'm looking for just like a plain black cloak, and then like traveler's clothes, a plain tunic, and pants.
Well, sure thing. Why don't you come over to the counter? We'll get your size, and I'll see if we have anything in stock.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there, and I'm gonna set down my starry robes and extra fabric, and I want to ask her, is there any way, if you guys do have a cloak, that you could add this as the lining?
So like the entire robe you're gesturing to?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll. Roll a d20 for luck for this seamstress's abilities. She says, well, I'd have to make some adjustments, but you basically want, when you open the cloak, to be all sparkly, yeah?
Right, basically. So the outside is like a dark cloak, and then I can show people the fancy inside.
She smiles and she says, I like your style. Sure, I can do that.
Awesome.
So you're looking for traveler's clothes. She prices the traveler's clothes for 2 gold.
Okay.
And then to do the seamstress job, she prices out 4 gold for labor.
Okay, I'm gonna hand her 10 gold.
Okay.
As like a
She says, oh, you don't have to do that.
Oh, it's alright. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you. I can have it done for you by the end of the day.
Awesome. I appreciate it so much. I'm also looking for a mending kit.
Well, I don't really sell the supplies I have for mending here. You might want to check at a general store.
Okay.
So you walk down the drag, you know exactly where you're going, and you find it easily. And mending, like sewing?
Yes.
Okay. They are not priced. Unless they are. I'm just missing it. Nest kit, disguise kit, forgery kit, herbalism kit, poisoner's kit, climber's kit. Okay, well, I'm gonna say that it's a gold. Because it's just needle and thread.
Okay. Easy peasy.
Right. I think at this point Tadias might be getting up. It's about 8:39.
Sounds good. I'll just kind of stand up, look at the situation in the bar, and just slowly and like groggily walk my way over to the bar and sit down on a stool.
Okay. You sit down. Your mother is sort of walking across the bar, sees you. She tussles your hair. Just silently, she just serves you a big plate of sausages.
Oh, I've missed this. You don't even know. Start digging into it.
All right.
Mother, what's
It's pork.
going on? Of course it is. What's going on in town? I haven't been here for a while.
She tells you pretty much what Gizo told him about how repairs have gotten underway of people's stuff. She talked about she also mentions a strange, very charismatic bard that's performed here, and it kind of reminds you of what Hum told you the previous evening. She also similar story to Hum. One of the patrons here also had a sort of a disgruntlement about some happening at one of the elemental guilds.
I'm pretty tired of the elemental guilds right now. Except Dimitri, of course, but I should go see him. I haven't seen him in a few weeks. Is he still good?
She says, well, he's fine. Came in here a few nights ago.
Has he gotten his crazy flying machine to work yet?
She says, he talked about a prototype, a smaller device.
I crashed the prototype. I know about that one.
No, a new one.
A new one? We'll go see with him. I also was going to meet with the archaeologist, potentially. But thank you for breakfast.
She tussles your hair again. Gives you a very obnoxiously motherly kiss on the forehead.
Just heavy breathing and sighing. And once I finish with breakfast, I'll just kind of head out and go check on Dimitri.
Okay. So you're walking up. The main drag. Going this way to get across to this northern hill, Forthstride. Delia is like here, and you probably actually meet up. You see each other on the street.
Delia! Hey, I kind of wave over.
Hey, I'll walk over to him.
He's nice not being threatened to be stabbed every single waking moment, eh?
I agree.
What have you been up to?
Well, I got some new clothes because I felt kind of like a target with my favorite robes. But I'll be heading to the college later on to grab some books.
Are you trying to look less like a mage?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Getting immediately targeted and then stabbed a whole bunch of times is not fun.
I can agree with the sentiment. I wonder if it's probably the information they received regarding us killing, the 20 or 30 beforehand. That might have helped them.
That is true. But don't worry, I'll still have the same flair. I'm having a cloak made with the inside of it having all of my starry robes.
You better watch out. Hum might be very interested in stealing that from you.
I'm sure we could share.
You both look fabulous, I swear. Either way, I was going to attend to some business. Good luck on finding your book.
Thank you. Good luck on your business.
Okay,
Take
so
off.
you guys part ways. So the morning is starting to drag on. What's Illyria up to?
I think she's gonna make her way over to probably where Hum is, because I think that's where I last saw them go.
Okay.
Figured everyone will be met up there.
Okay, so you start to make your way across to Vardos Lane. Hum, how long do you small talk with Gizo?
Well, I finished my breakfast and then I decided that the coin is getting heavy in my purse. So I decided I'd go to the bank and exchange and break up money for everybody so I could hand them a pouch.
Okay. So then the bank is over here. You make your way there. Do you detail to Gizo where you're going? Or you just say happy trails and leave?
I tell him that I'm gonna run a few errands, and then I'll be back by 2 o'clock.
Okay. So you... Yeah, okay. So you, you step out of Twiddles and Fiddles and, you see, down, the road, Illyria walking in your direction.
I wave. I say, hey, Illyria, you want to come with me to the bank? This change is getting pretty heavy in my pouch. I think it's time to break up the...
For sure.
Okay. So, you guys...
Company come to the bank.
Okay, you guys go to the bank. And, the teller's actually a little surprised at how much carnage, so much raw carnage you have. But they go and, are you just gonna get it all turned to gold? What are you planning on doing?
I'm breaking it up evenly. I already have the breakdown.
Oh, cool. I want to see it, actually. Oh, did you put it in the party fund, or?
I've not done it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do that right now.
Cool. You also have things that you can sell, too.
Yeah, just gonna break up the cash.
Okay. So that's going on. Zachriel.
I'll be right back.
You are sitting down to breakfast with Floriana and Sihara and Cedric and his parents. What'd you make? Oh. Oh, he told me he was going AFK 2 minutes ago. Dang you, OBS. Okay, so he is AFK right now. In that case, Tadias. You're walking over to the Elemental Guild Hill. So, what's your first stop?
It's gonna be Dimitri in the airs.
Okay. So you head over, and he... Oop. Ah.
Money!
Money! What about the platinum?
It's broken down into gold.
Ah, okay. Alright, so you got 5 sacks of cash. Okay. So you start, you walk to, need to look at my own map. Yes. Wins and sales. You get to wins and sales, and you enter the lobby, and the receptionist smiles at you, and she says, "Can I help you?" And you notice that she's a new face.
Yes,
We
I'm
hate
looking
you.
for Dimitri. Is he around?
Sure, I can find him for you. Or do you have any relation to him?
Yeah, just tell him someone's here.
Okay. And she hops out of her desk, and she goes into a door. The door kind of locks behind her, and a few minutes later, she comes back and she says he's kind of busy at the moment.
I'll let myself in, and I kind of walk past her.
Well, wait, what are you? And she's like kind of just following you, and she says, you can't do that. And she she like you guys pass a corner of a hallway, she reaches up and she rings a bell, and it's just like extraordinarily loud. And she says, "Wait, please! You can't do that!" And just like super loud, like it reverberates through the walls. You start going in the direction where you know his workshop, the hangar, is, and just as you get there, you see this very tall, very imposing-looking dragonborn step in front of you, and he says. He just kind of like has his hands like out, and he's like, "All right, we need to go back to the lobby. Don't make me call the militia."
You are misunderstanding.
And you remember that you had Gorbash sort of recommend to all the elemental guilds to step up security.
Yes.
He says, "What is there to understand?"
That I am Dimitri's nephew, and I'm here to see him. That I work at this place.
He
Just because you have a new face that's very gun-shy about getting the bells out doesn't mean that I don't belong here.
Okay, so make a charisma check, whatever, if you have any proficiencies at all.
I don't think I do. And it's a -1. Lovely. Oh, 12.
12.
So that's advantage.
He shakes his head, and he kind of approaches you more, and he says, "Just step out into the lobby for a second."
For a second. I'll enjoy the.
He gives you like this look, like he knows what you just like what you meant by that. He just gives you this look of, "Do not try me."
You're adorable. I begin walking back to the lobby. Tell him Thaddeus Aldenoff is here.
I'm back.
So he walks away. The receptionist just kind of looks at you like a little bit, like you can see that she's flush. She's not didn't think she'd be doing this today. And Dimitri comes in a few minutes later, and he says, "Thaddeus, you need to announce yourself."
Why? I thought I was welcome here, family, you know.
He says, well, as you can see, I have a new receptionist." He gestures to the woman. And he says, "On the recommendation of the militia, we've tightened security a little bit."
It's very good to see that, and I was happy to be your first victim.
He laughs, and he says, come on in. I haven't seen you in ages."
It has been a while. I have a few stories I wouldn't mind telling you as well.
So he takes you back to the hangar. And as you're walking past, the Dragonborn security guard just kind of gives you this look of like... He kind of sighs and just shakes his head.
Shit grinning smile. And a wink as I walk past him.
Shit grinning smile.
Just right there, just...
Alright, so he just shakes his head as you go past, and Dimitri leads you into the hangar, and he says, as you like walking through the halls, he says, "So tell me of your adventure."
Well,
Something must have happened to keep you away that long.
Yeah, 2 cults I had to deal with. There is I know I've introduced the party to you, the people I've been traveling with, but we have been running into some ne'er-do-wells, some people hurting others, and I was afflicted with something, and I had to be away from you and everyone else for a while.
He raises his eyebrow, and he says, "Is it taken care of?"
It is.
He pats your shoulder. Good.
So what's new here? I hear you're on a new prototype.
He says, well, I've come to realize that I've been a bit too ambitious with the larger airships, but I have a little something that I've been working on. Might serve well, but, you know, we'll see. So he brings you in, and you see sitting on a workbench, this looks like a small wooden wagon, and beneath it you can recognize a elemental binding device, and he says, "All right, now watch this." And he takes it, and there's this sort of mechanical-looking lever on it, and he flicks it. It doesn't. He doesn't switch the position. He just kind of flicks it, and it returns back to its resting position. And you hear sort of a whoosh sound, and then he takes it from the bench and he kind of puts it on the ground, and you can see that it's sort of hovering off of the ground.
I kind of like glaze my hand underneath it to see if there's like any resistance or any like thing blowing.
There is definitely air blowing. It's a very cool. It's a very cool stream. It seems very even, but it's also very strong.
Is this to lift up heavy things, make them easier to move? What's the intention?
He says there is more of a proof of concept than anything. Applications are forthcoming.
We turn it sideways, then you can, cool yourself on a hot day.
He laughs. He says, "That's also a very good idea."
Hey, it might be commercial, who knows?
He says, "Before I make anything of note with it, I want to make sure that the design is secure enough to keep the elemental binded."
That is important.
I think that putting air elementals in the balloon was not the best idea.
I mean, it got the job done. It's just volatile. But I'm happy we're learning lessons. That's good.
He just nods. He says, and over the past couple of weeks, I've had talks with, what's his name? The White Dragonborn fellow.
Ah, yes, the one that was, wait, the taller one or the smaller one?
The more lanky one. He goes to school at Akka.
Yes, I do remember him. What did you speak of?
Well, he was giving me the spiel about how elementals have their own will, and I'll admit I'm a little put off by it, but I can see where he's coming from.
Alexander is a big heart. And I understand these elementals do have their own will, but so do farm animals and various other things.
He says, that's what I was thinking as well. I'm not sure how to rectify his concerns. We have someone here that can speak the language, but haven't really put much resources into it.
I say the Sea of Fire is hot.
What?
I say the Sea of Fire is hot.
No, that's what he says. What?
Alright. Nothing. I've been trying to learn it a little bit. My companion is fluent in it.
He says, oh, very interesting. He kind of just like, he purses his lips and he has this look on his face of like, he's very fascinated by the idea in a academic, hobbyist sense, and not in a matter of whether or not the things they're using have their own free will or not, or sentient. And he says, well, maybe I'll put some time in and learn the language more thoroughly.
There is reasons to. I mean, it will give you your own perspective and knowledge power. Speaking of which, I was going to maybe check with the Archaeological Society. Is there any new business there?
He says, oh. He leans over. He says, your patron has been looking for you. Gives you a wink.
I'm happy I'm not bacon right now. I mean, I'm happy, yes, that she's looking for
me. He just gave you this look of like, what do you mean bacon?
Nothing. I fell into a trough and I was not the best smelling for a while.
Roll deception.
I'll do it.
Yeah, roll deception.
Alright, you got it. -1. That's the button right there.
So he just kind of like narrows his eyes a bit and he says, Tadaius, I know you're bullshitting, but I'm not
bullshitting.
He points at you. A very good point. He says, if there's if there's anything you do need help with, I'm always here.
Of course.
Unless I'm off driving an airship that is coming hopefully in the future. But, you know what I mean.
I understand. And Uncle, I love you, and I would tell you anything if I didn't think it would directly threaten you. But it's taken care of. Be sure.
He nods, he clasps your arm, and he says, good to hear it.
But I will go talk to her. It's been a long while.
Okay. He says, come back anytime. He sits down at his workbench and starts to tool around with his project.
Do you think I could get a badge, something that could tell them I'm free to walk in here, or should I continue to talk to secretaries?
He says, I can get you another badge. I think I gave you one already.
Yeah, then I've lost it a long time ago. Probably drunk in stupor, maybe in a bar, but whatever.
He says, I'll leave one. He says.
Just leave one with the, poor decisions. I'll grab it there.
Well, the next time I go there, sure. But if you want it sooner, I'll leave it with. I'll leave it with Macy. That's the
Macy's
secretary.
The new one? Oh, good. You haven't hired any Karens recently, have you? And I think that'll be the end of my session.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, the joke name. Okay, I was like, I thought you said Karen, like the burial site, like a Karen.
Oh no.
I was like,
But
what?
I think that's my time for sure.
I got you. Okay, so well, Justin just got back, so let's cut to him. Zachariel. Zachariel, you were sitting down to breakfast with. You're here, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You're sitting down to breakfast with Family 1 and Family 2.
No,
And
it's just one big family now.
you sit down with your
Just family.
family, and what did you make for breakfast?
I made. I'm a wizard when it comes to kitchen now, so I put hot spices inside a poached egg.
Like just injected into the yolk?
Uh huh.
Oh yeah,
So
that sounds
when you
amazing.
get that burst of yolk, it also comes with the very very rash and sudden taste of sea of fire.
Oh yeah. Cedric is just pounding back the milk. His little tongue can't take it. But Sihara is just sucking it up like a champ. Like her eyes are red, and she's just eating this egg yolk. But you can tell that it's affecting her, but she's just sort of taking it. And Cedric's parents also give you compliments. So how long are you planning to stay at your home?
Well, after finishing up breakfast and cleaning up, I will. Loriana, I have to head into town. Is there anything you need me to pick up?
She says, now that you mention it, and she sort of actually produces sort of a grocery list. We'll gloss over the details, but it all looks like it'll be worth about 5 gold.
Okay.
So you head into town. And I assume you make your way to the Wayshield headquarters?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way to the Wayshield headquarters. Beep. So you walk in, and same young boy that mans the counter looks up and says, "Oh, Zachariel, welcome back."
Oh. Well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. He says, he just points behind his shoulder. Gordon's in the back.
Perfect. Hey, listen, have we gotten any weapon shipments in a while?
He says, well, one's due today. And he kind of stands up and he just kind of assesses the office space, and he says, hasn't come in yet, but usually we get an order at the end of the day.
Okay. Just figured I'd check.
No problem.
If you'll excuse me, I have to talk to Gordon. I'll see you on the way out.
He nods and kind of just gets back to, you kind of like glance down and you see that he has a charcoal, it's essentially a pencil, and he's sketching just a drawing of a tree on a piece of parchment.
How does it look? Is he like Picasso, or?
He looks like he's practicing.
Okay.
Quick question, Mike.
Sure.
Is the elemental engine still in the...
I don't... Well, somebody has to check.
Well, that's where it was left anyway. If it's not there, I'll just give this kid a hard time, don't worry.
Alright. So, you walk in and, you walk further in, and the little alcove that serves as Gordon's office, he recognizes your gate. And before you even turn the corner to address him, he says, Zachariel, welcome.
Oh, Gordon. You're spry today.
He says, had a really good sleep last night.
Oh, good. I'm here to ruin that.
He says, why? What's going on?
Do we have any available way shields nearby or near Orboral?
He blinks and he says, well, just had a couple come in the other day, actually, from that direction.
Okay, well, me and my companions just came back from Orboral. It was taken over by a cult. Most of the guards have been killed.
Oh, no.
They're left pretty defenseless.
He says,
there's a man there. He's a very powerful wizard. His name eludes me right now. Listen, Gordon, I understand fully this is going to sound crazy, but his name is Renwick.
okay. The powerful spellcasters aren't that rare.
No, the one from the stories.
He blinks for a second, thinks, makes a history check.
Well, he's a smart guy, so...
He is a smart guy, but I just want to see if he remembers. Oh, whoops. GM roll 20. Yeah, that's not how that works. Wait, what? Oh, okay. There we go. Oh my god. Okay. So his eyes kind of his eyes kind of go wide and he says, "That Renwick?"
Yes. Nice fellow, actually. Or, I believe they called him Lich.
He makes an Arcana check.
He was very helpful for us. Trying to fight the cult. He gave us
Gordon
a
is
locked room to stay.
Gordon is rolling hot fire. He says, "You mean the creature that he just," and he like waves and he like looks out. He kind of like leans over and then he just like, come in here."
Okay.
And he says, I don't want to accidentally frighten the boy. He says, "You mean the magic user that eats souls to stay immortal?"
Yes. Yep, that's him. But he's accidentally Lich. He didn't want to be Lich. His brother did it to him. He's a nice fellow. He just wants to die. But can't. Terrible.
he's just like, sort of, he's just like processing everything you're telling him. It's just so out of left field for him. He's just,
Anyway, he's there, disguised as a human.
Tragic.
Very nice fellow, disguised as a human. I'm sure he can handle it himself, but in light of recent events, some of our lessers, perhaps it would be good for the region if we send out a couple more seasoned way shield.
He leans.
We killed everyone there. All the cultists are dead, so it's just bugs coming out of the ground now.
He leans onto. He puts his elbows onto his desk and he strokes his beard with his thumbs, and he closes his eyes and he says, "Yes, from what's been happening with rogue way shields and the bit more incursion of orcs I heard from no, what's her name?
Orcs?
One sec. What's her name? She says, or he says, I spoke with Haley when she got back.
Oh yes, Haley.
You know, that isn't a bad idea. I think we have plenty in our coffers. I think it's not a bad idea to add some security to the region. I think we'll get a couple of, he thinks for a
You may want
moment.
to bring some weapons. They don't have much left there.
He says, we'll...
Gave them all my javelins except for this one.
Well, there's 6 greens and a brown in town. He's like looking at a ledger. He says, I'll send the brown and 4 of the greens. That should be sufficient to help them. Would you
6
say?
greens and 2 browns. But I agree, yes.
He shrugs. He says, "It's all I have on hand."
I'm just saying I'm here to...
Oh, well, I assume you have other business to take care
Yes,
of.
I'm going into the Condare Forest to, not fight orcs.
The forest itself?
Yep.
Why?
Well, you know the, young man that worked at the earthen elemental store?
He says, the elven man, right?
Yes, yeah. One of my companions, that was her brother. He passed away.
He, like, before you even say he passed away, like, he's aware of that event, and he just kind of, like, he frowns, he says, "Oh, I'm sorry for her loss." And he just
Yes.
lets you continue.
It's in his will that he would like to be buried underneath a tree, I believe, in the forest.
He just kind of, like, he gets his look, and he just kind of, like, sounds like an elven thing to do.
Yep. Never a dull moment when you're traveling with elves. That's for sure.
He
Sure.
gives you a knowing. He gives you a smile. He says, "All right, I'll send a message to them. As for weapons, as far as I know, we haven't gotten our 2 10-day delivery yet, but should be here any hour today. And if it's not, or if you're impatient, you could go visit our smith yourself." He takes a paper from a drawer, and he says, NPCs. He says, his name's Survey Ron. He's one of the stouter halflings. He's our weaponsmith. He has a shop just across the lane.
Oh, perfect. Perhaps I'll just go over there. I don't want to take what you have coming. Something else. Oh, kill the barrel shark. I don't know if you know what those are, but they're... Or bullet. Bullet. It's a bullet.
He's gonna roll a nature check. Yeah,
almost crushed me.
he's killing it. He says, you mean one of those really big rhinoceros-looking things with the massive mouths?
Yeah, it's kind of like a cross between a rhinoceros and a shark.
He just kind of nods, impressed. He says, "Are you keeping tally of how many monsters you've slain?"
No, just the good deeds. Help me sleep it.
He says, "Well, why don't you start keeping tally? You might be in for a veteran before the end of the year."
Well, I can tell you that the last month or so, I have killed at least 40 cultists.
He says, "Impressive."
Yeah.
He's just genuinely impressed with you.
Anyway, is that engine still in the shed?
He says, "Oh, that thing? No, we returned it to clear currents a few days back."
Oh, well, thank you. Did you deposit?
There's a deposit?
Yeah.
He just kind of grimaces and says, "No."
Alright, well, you're going to have to tell the halfling that you didn't get the deposit back.
He says,
I'm not telling you.
"Wait, what halfling?"
The scary devil thing.
Hum's a gnome.
It's a gnome.
Well, you know.
He says, "Oh,
You'll have to tell the gnome. I'm very tired."
alright, that's no problem." So, anything else you want to do with Gordon?
Nope.
Okay, well, you get up and, shakes your hand heartily and you start to leave.
Oh, wait, I do have one more thing, Gordon.
Yes?
Why did you give my wife a badge?
He both kind of shrinks and grins at the same time. He says, "You're Floriana. She's very persistent."
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I'm sure she won't be reckless. And she showed me what she can do. She's powerful."
Yes. But now I have more things to worry about.
He says, when he just kind of looks at you and he says, "That number will only grow the older you get."
Well, last time I left them alone, they got kidnapped, so you can imagine why I'm worried.
He says, "The last time you left them alone, Floriana couldn't shoot lightning bolts from her fingertips."
You a very compelling case, Gordon.
He's just giving you a big grin, and there's old man twinkle in his eye.
Yeah. I just leave.
Okay. All right.
Like mumbling and grumbling, I just turn and leave.
Excellent.
Look at that list of stuff that your wife asked you to get.
Yeah.
Check my pockets, see if I still have it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you still have it, unless you say you lost it somehow.
No.
All right, so we'll cut to Hum and Illyria. Is there anything else you guys plan to do at the bank?
Nope.
Okay, so you're just...
No, but I was going to ask Hum if maybe we should go find a jeweler and maybe sell those stones and gems that we received.
Well, I think maybe we should talk to Delia first and see if she can use any of them for her spell.
All right. So you...
Where's she at?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said, where's Hum? Or where's Delia at?
All Hum knows is that she went back to her flat near the school.
I look at Illyria and I say, I think that we should get our shopping done and head back to Twiddles and Fiddles because everybody will look for us there, or at least me.
My stomach kind of growls. Yeah, I could use some twiddles and fiddles.
You know what? I was thinking we should see in town at the fruit market if they have that mango thing that Zachariah's looking for.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
Okay, so you guys,
Do you know what a mango is?
Do I know what a mango is?
roll history. Or nature. History or nature.
My entire life has changed into a journey for the mango.
Sorry, did you want history or nature?
Whichever one's better for you.
They're both.
Okay. Then intelligence. Okay, so you you've heard of certain exotic fruits from far off lands. You've heard of this, and you've actually tasted a preserved one, and you know that they have a certain flavor that you can't really get out of any other fruit. So you know they exist. Whether or not they're grown in Forthstride, you don't know. This is a side quest. The side quest for the mango.
Main quest?
Sure.
I must make the perfect dish.
Adventure.
So, what do you guys do?
We head towards the marketplace.
Okay, so you head toward the
The hunt for the perfect mango.
Or even a shriveled old one. Just want to see a mango.
you head to the Garden Creek, where many businesses cultivate specifically or specialty agrarian items. So you make your way there. The water trickling. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll investigation, both of you, to sort of represent your looking around and peering into shops and asking. Yeah. You don't come across anyone that has heard of this fruit. You ask around a lot. Disappointed looks.
Somebody has to know something.
And so begins the mango shakedown.
The mango shakedown.
I start explaining to Illyria what happened last night and about this other bard in the city and the symbols she had on her chest.
Oh, right, because I was not there.
No, you were not. The only one that knows is Tadias besides me.
Okay, so what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Should we probably meet up with Tadias and let the others know?
Well, we will cut to Delia now. So Delia,
Yes.
you are returning to Akka to do what exactly? So you're walking there. It's early. It's still mid-morning. Students are walking to and from class. You actually see your friend. Remind me of her name.
Corelli.
Corelli approaches you wearing her student garb. She cries out, Delia! And she just kind of hops over, gives you a hug. She says,
I'm gonna hug her back.
she says, so did you find more crystals?
No, I didn't. But the crystals should be flowing to the city again because we helped defeat a bunch of like evil cultists out in Orbor.
She gets starry eyes and she says, "Tell me all about it."
Okay, I'll tell you all about it, but you gotta come with me to the library because there's stuff I gotta do.
She says, and then you kind of hear like this loud ding, this loud bell ring, and she says, "Oh, I gotta get to class. Maybe later."
All right, have fun in class.
Thanks. And she runs off. Doesn't run off, but briskly walks off. So you head to the library.
Yes.
Head to the library, and the inside of this place. You've been in here many times. Tomes line the walls. There are like islands of shelves. You know that the collection here is well over 10,000 different volumes. Lots of overlap in the knowledge contained within, but still valuable in their own right. You see people at desks studying. You see a book sort of floating in the air, heading toward another student. You recognize this as the unseen servant spell. People just going about studying arcane and arcane lore. What do you do?
I want to head right to the librarian's desk.
All right, you head to the reference desk. This young human woman. How can I help you?
So, I need to know if there is any... Well, okay, I'm going to be honest. I think someone has been stealing books from the library and teleporting them somewhere else. Would you know anything about that?
She gets this sort of look on her face. I'm gonna take a chance here. Ah, perfect. She blinks for a bit and she says, well, she says, well, she kind of just rubs her cheek. Now that you're saying it aloud, and she kind of looks to her left, and then she says, she kind of like gestures for you to like lean down, and she says, look at this. And she opens a drawer, and she pulls out what looks like a ledger, except it's massive, in length and girth. And that was unnecessary, excuse me. But she opens it, and she says, here, look at this. And she opens up to a page, and there's, in big block letters, it says, unreturned books. And there's several pages, and, you're sort of looking at it with her, and you come to learn that this spans years. And there's about, there's at least 100 books missing. Which
Do
is...
they have names of the people who trekked them out?
Yeah, so, adding a little bit of detail, this is actually sort of a interesting feat, because the books all have a rune that teleports them back to the library if they are removed. So, the fact that... Like, she doesn't think much of it, because her professors have magics that remove charms, but she doesn't think much of it, but that fact exists. So you ask about names, and you see that there's this long, very pattern that spans many years back, back to sort of the founding of this library, where per student there's about 5 books missing.
Okay.
And you proceed to like look for the newest one, I assume. And you find that there's one that there's one that has 3 books checked out, and all of them are overdue severely.
Okay.
And you there certainly is a name there. A Zio Linley.
How do you spell that?
I'm going to put it in the chat momentarily.
Okay. I'm gonna just jot that down on a loose sheet of paper. And then are there any other names that stand out to me besides Zio's?
Well, he was the one that is sort of the most recent student with overdue books.
Okay.
And you that name kind of rings a bell slightly, not really, just enough to where you've probably had a few classes with him, so you have a bit of confidence that he still goes here. The name prior, roll history check.
Okay.
You remember this person graduated about 2 years ago.
Well, shoot.
This is
Okay,
and this is talking about
then-
the person with 5 overdue books prior that graduated. You have a good idea that the Zio person is still going to school here.
Okay. I'm gonna thank the librarian profusely and tell her that she was very helpful, and that I'm also looking for books on Samuel and lore about lichdom.
All right. She pulls out this massive sort of index, puts it on the desk, kind of flips through it, and she gives you a few locations in the library, Dewey Decimal System style.
Okay, I'm gonna go and find all those books, and then start reading.
Okay. And you're just gonna spend a few hours doing that in the library?
Yeah, and since
Okay.
I can't, the books will teleport back to the library, I'll just take notes and
I mean, they
put the back of my spell.
the way it works is, and you know this, the way it works is you check them out, but once it's past the overdue for a while, then it does the thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can take them from the library if that changes anything.
How many books are there?
In total, with lore on lichdom and a lore book on Samular, there's about 6 in total. One book on lore on Samular, and then 5 different volumes about lichdom lore history. There's one that's like specifically focused on history. There's one that's sort of focused on the ethics of it. Different sort of varying lenses to view the subject from.
Okay.
And you know that...
I guess I'll take all of them and check them out. And do they weigh 5 pounds each? Because that's a...
They are pretty heavy, but I will say that How much does an average textbook weigh? Now I'm curious. I'll say that they each weigh about 2.5 pounds.
Okay.
I'm unsure if that's a good estimate, but we'll go with it.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So yeah, you check them out, and you sit down to read. Do you have any other things you want to do?
Well, I kind of want to go and find this Zio person, but I can do that a little bit later.
Okay. So we cut from this scene with Delia sitting down at either the desk in her dorm or a desk in the library and starting to read.
Oh, I do want to send Nathan to send a message to Twiddles and Fiddles.
Okay. Of where your whereabouts?
Yeah.
Okay. Simple enough. Tadias. You go to the Archaeological Society. Is Miles here?
I am here.
Alright. So you head just down the hill a bit to the Archaeological Society. You enter, and you see the recognizable Katie Kulger. She is sort of speaking with somebody who is has a bunch of like this person that she's talking to. She has they have like a bunch of notes in their hands, and they're just kind of like listening to her. They look to you when you enter the lobby of the place. She turns to you, she gets a grin on her face, and she says, "Tadias!" And she just kind of like briskly walks over to you, puts her hands on her shoulders, and she says, "Tried to find you. Your uncle told me he hadn't seen head or tail of you. Where have you been?"
Yes, Miss Colgar. It's been I've been busy with things. How are you?
She says, "I'm excited." She says, "It's spring. You know what that means."
A new solstice.
She just shakes her head. No. That site by the mud and the foot of the Skyreach peaks.
Yes.
It's probably churned up some new relics.
Interesting. What do you think we'll find there?
She says, well, the last time we went there, we found some, we found that one, broken vase, remember?
Oh, yes. He was the purple one, right? Had the flowers decorated on it?
Yes, and it was actually surprising because, it's made of the same, material as, similar material to the mud. And just to illustrate this to you, the player, the place she's talking about is right here.
Okay.
And about 43 miles off of Mortrath. And she says, "I'm going to head back down there the day after tomorrow. I'd love it if you joined me."
I'm currently traveling with some people. I could see if they're interested. Actually, I had a question for you.
Yeah?
Up north, Orboro, there's a temple. Do you know of it?
She thinks for a moment. She says, "In the mountains?"
In the mountains, yes.
Be right back.
We did look about there, but we didn't really foray into it. We encountered some of those. Do you know those creatures that they have the tentacles around their beaks and they're like snakes, sort of?
Greeks.
It was infested with them.
I've recently visited that temple more extensively than I'd like to, and I was curious if you knew anything of its origins, exactly, why someone would choose that spot, other than other things to occupy.
She says, well, the nature of it is... Well, if you haven't found anything, then the nature of it is sort of unclear, but... I mean, there are plenty of monastic... If I'm saying that right, is Mike saying that right? Monastic? Like a monk monastic order... Oh, shit. How do you say that?
You're saying
That's
you're right.
close enough.
Okay, close enough.
Methodic?
Wait.
Monastic.
That's where we're...
Monastic. A monastic order. She says, lots of monastic orders have their temples sort of away from, or up in remote places. It makes sense.
I'm always surprised when I come in here. You just always seem to know so much. Yes, I have some new friends. I will talk to them about heading down south.
She says, oh, great. I hope to see you there.
Are you heading out tomorrow morning, you said?
Oh, the day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
We're gathering some supplies, and then we'll hire some way shields, and then we'll make our way down to Mortrath, and then we'll walk across the plain.
I happen to know a particular way shield that might be interested. It's good seeing you. I feel like I don't come here often enough.
You really don't.
Yes, I'll be better. It's just things have been happening, and I don't want to bring home life to work. That's the case.
She nods and says, yeah, I hope to see you there.
Yes, what are you doing tonight?
She says, what I usually do, look over some ancient maps and mark the places I want to visit next.
Well, I need to meet up with them, but if you don't mind some company, I have some maps I wanted to work on myself.
She kind of just like gets this look and she says, are you asking me out?
No. It's a dumb idea. I should probably head off and I can walk out.
She's just sort of like, you leave her a little bit stunned, but before she can kind of like regain her senses, you're just out the door. Okay.
All right. I head over to Fiddles and Fiddles.
Say that again.
I head over to Fiddles and Fiddles.
Okay. We'll cut back to Hum and Illyria just finishing their unfortunately not successful quest at finding a mango.
The sentences that happen in D&D. Just...
Yep. So you guys are over at the Garden District still. Let me switch the map back to Forthstride. Are they?
I'm here.
Okay. So, what would you guys like to do?
So we start heading back over to Twiddles and Fiddles.
Okay.
Just, strolling,
Um,
talking.
I think at this point you see Zachriel with a big bag full of groceries walking down the main drag.
Zachary, what are you doing?
Shopping.
Such a mundane task.
Yes, well, I've incurred the wrath of a beautiful yet savage creature.
I have a present for that beautiful yet savage creature, and I toss him over the carnage I had split. Toss it into the bag.
Perhaps this could correct my words from yesterday.
What did you do?
I think I'm better at charming people than I am.
You know, that just doesn't surprise me.
What? Oh, okay. What are you up to?
Well, we were going to head over to Twiddles and Fiddles and see if we could find everybody else.
I would love to join you, but I have to get things home.
Yeah, before you cause more problems with me.
Yes,
You'll
I
get
also
it
have to go by javelins. This will help.
It should help.
Yes, I can buy many javelins, but I'm not going to use them.
So have you had any luck with that mango?
No, the mango eludes me. Ask Floriano if she's ever heard of it. She has, I think, but she doesn't know where to get them. Another land.
Illyria was talking about knowing what a mango was.
I know a little bit of it. Is there maybe a traveling merchant in the area?
Roll a history check. You know that if there's any traveling merchants in town, they're probably at the River Plaza. That the area where you remember that area where Kalazan had that big speech and got a little bit too big for his britches.
We could try the traveling store.
Well, I did tell Giza we would be back by 2, so if anybody's been at Twiddles and Fiddles, they'll know to meet us there. I don't want to be too late.
Well, that's not a big deal anyway.
You're cutting out really hard.
Curse you, weather! Hello?
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 Oh,
You said it's no matter, and then your voice just kind of like lost
Yeah.
100%.
it's the weather.
Ah.
Well, you know where to find us. We'll be at Twiddles and Fiddles. And tell Floriana that I said you're wrong. Whatever you did, you're wrong.
Yes, if I'm allowed out, I will come to Twiddles.
If we don't see you, we'll know where to find you.
Yes.
Alright, so, Zachariel, it takes you about another hour, but we'll get back to that, to finish all the shopping. And to get back, just the walking you have to do. So, you guys, Illyria and Hum return to Twiddles and Fiddles, and when you get there, Gizo greets you, and he says, I have a message for you guys. It's from Delia.
Oh, awesome.
He puts it in front of you on the counter, the bar. What's it say, Delia?
It says, "Hi guys, I'm at the library. I'll meet you later." Heart, Delia.
When
Gizo?
did this come in?
He says, just about, I really need to track time better. He says, it came in about 40 minutes ago.
Awesome. Hey, Gizo, my friend's stomach here is growling loudly. Could you hook her up with some
he says, we have a little bit of eggs left for the omelets, but we're prepping lunch now if you'd rather a chicken sandwich.
Ooh, chicken sandwich. Let's do that.
All right. He calls into the kitchen and he has somebody, or he has one whipped up for you, and it's that kind of like, it's kind of battered, and it's in between two pieces of very freshly baked bread. Uh-oh. Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Just making sure that it went quiet because the music stopped and nobody was saying anything. He hands you the sandwich, or he puts it on a plate in front of you, Illyria. Tadias.
I dig right in.
Yeah. And you feel Valora kind of like nudge you.
Okay, I'm like, can you get one for my friend here?
Coming up. And he also asks
maybe
for...
two.
He asks...
How much?
Yeah, he asks for a silver per sandwich.
I'll put a gold down.
Alright. He takes the gold happily and serves them up for you. Tadias, you're walking back to Twills and Fiddles, right?
Yes.
Okay, so about, I'm going to say, Zachariel, about 30 minutes into after you met up with Delia and Hum, you see, after you like walk out of a store, the bag a little bit heavier, the coin purse a little bit lighter. You see Tadias walking up the main drag. Tadias, you see Zachariel.
Hey, Zachariel.
Hey, Tobias.
You're doing some shopping, I see.
Yes, I believe this is karma for all the pig jokes, actually.
Why do you say that?
Either it's karma or I'm very stupid. Anyway,
I wouldn't, put it that way either. But exactly, why are you going shopping today?
oh well, wife needed some things, and I needed some javelins after giving them all away to that village, city, or town.
Do I see any javelins on them?
That's up to you, Justin.
Have I gotten them yet? Because I was going to do a thing with the shopkeepers.
Oh, then no, not yet.
Yeah.
It looks like you're doing your priorities correctly.
Yes, well.
So I was going to Twiddles and Fiddles. Are the rest of them there?
Yes, they are all heading there. I didn't see Delia with them, so I don't...
No.
I will be around later if I'm allowed to leave the house.
Hey, quick question.
Yes.
How did you meet Floriana? Like, how did that situation start?
Well, very long time ago, back in my homeland. It was kind of like, when you see someone for the first time and realize there and then that they are all you'll ever need and ever want.
I kind of understand that, yes.
Betrayed my family, broke all bonds, and went with her.
Well, nice to know you're committed.
Well, you could say that. I was supposed to be in service to some royalty or something like that.
Well, if she does, loosen your leash, I might have a job for us.
Oh, interesting.
The Archaeological Society was planning on hiring some way shields, and there's a person very dear to me that I don't want. I want her to get there safe.
Well, based on recent events, apparently, there's a good chance that my wife could be one of those way shields, because she's now a way shield.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Did she not just kidnapped by a pig, roughly a month ago?
Yeah, but apparently the whole being able to shoot lightning from her fingertips has changed her life, which is good, I guess.
Everyone needs a thing.
Yes. Apparently my thing is not charisma.
Exactly, don't sell yourself short. It's just, she's a strong woman. And, I think she's going to get her way regardless of what happens. And I kind of pat him on the shoulder. But I need a
Well,
drink.
if I be honest, I usually let her have her way regardless.
Good man. Well, go get your javelins. I'll see you later.
Yes, I'm actually, this might be interesting for you. Well, you're more worried about drinking.
I have some nerves I have to get rid of, but if you have something to say, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to, the shock sword.
Yes.
I'm going to ask the smith if he's ever thought about doing it with the javelins. More effective against less armored foes.
If you could, talk to him about, souping up a hand axe, I would be interested in purchasing such a thing.
I don't know where we're going to fit spikes on a hand axe. So
Well,
I'll just tell him to add spikes to everything. We'll see what happens.
hey, why not? Experiment makes things interesting.
That's right. Maybe I can get some spikes on my shield.
That's an idea. I think the shovel wouldn't like it, though. No. It is about that time where I am beginning to enjoy my town ritual of getting drunk every night, so I will get to that. Enjoy
Look at your
yourself.
sea legs.
Yeah, sure. I've done with the sea, I'm done with the earth. I'm here for alcohol.
Well, earth and fire, there's only earth and water. 2 elements left, I guess.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you still have the book? I was going to look it over a little bit more, the language.
Yeah, I gave it to you.
Is it in here? I kind of
Yes,
open up my pack. Which means I'm writing it down right now in my pack because I never had it written down. Add book elemental stuff.
Unfortunately, I was going to get you to read the elf and the dwarf, but I gave it to a man who didn't like the browse.
The Elf and the Dwarf, this sounds like a children's title.
Well, it was a children's title, but he was being an asshole.
You hand out just children's books to assholes?
Well, he was being racially
Oh,
discriminating
I
against the
understand
crowd.
now. The title makes sense now.
Yeah.
Circles and squares, I get you.
That's right, yeah. Apples and oranges. Mangoes and... I don't know what goes with mangoes. I've never seen one.
What's a mango?
I keep trying to figure this out.
Not familiar. Is that from
Karen
the
knows.
homeland?
No, I've never seen a mango.
Well, good luck with the javelins. And I start heading off to the bar.
Okay. So you join them at the bar. Illyria and Thaddeus walks in. But before that, let's cut back to Delia. A few hours have passed by now. You've gotten...
What time is it?
We're gonna say that it's at about 2:30 in the afternoon.
So I still have some time to pick up my cloak before the shops close?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it can be earlier if you want it. It's mostly up to you. Depends on when you decide to do that other thing you were mentioning.
While I'm here, I do want to try and find Zio.
Okay.
So I'll do that first.
Okay. So you're gonna roll me an investigation check, which will represent Delia going around asking, sort of, where this person might be. All right. So you actually learn where he lives. You talk to the right people. The professor you share, and then another student that you shared a class with. And you learn that they live in one of the student flats pretty far off from campus. but you know which one it is and where to go.
Okay, I'm gonna head that way
All right, you head that way.
and just think to myself what an amazing spy I would be.
All right, so you arrive in front of student flat. It's pretty much like yours. They're small, sort of duplex-like things, and you stand before it.
I want to knock.
You knock, and one sec. Door opens, and this sort of younger human man opens the door. He's got brown hair, and he looks a little bit. He kind of rubs his eye. Looks like he might have been either studying really hard or sleeping. And he says, "Yeah."
Hi, I totally didn't mean to wake you up, but I wanted to ask you a few questions if you had the time.
He says, I mean, wasn't sleeping. I was actually studying. What do you need?
Well, I have a hunch that you have been sending books to one of my friends. Does his expression change at all when I say that?
Roll insight. Yeah. So you see this twinge in his eyes, like a slight flash of panic. And he says,
"No, it's okay. It's okay. I think you and I could be really good friends because we share similar interests."
I don't know what you're talking about. And you can kind of tell with that insight that he's definitely not being forthcoming.
I'm gonna hold my hand out and say, "I'm Delia."
Zio, and he sort of begrudgingly shakes your hand.
Well, so our mutual friend, who I think you know who I'm talking about, he wanted me to tell you thank you for sending him books.
He's just blinking, and he's just this look of sheer disbelief descends on him, and he is just he's sort of blabbering a bit because you know that there's something he's sort of hiding. I really don't know who you're talking about.
I think you do. It's okay. You don't have to play coy with me. I'm a friend.
All right, so roll a charisma check, persuasion. Okay. He says, so you can tell that he's definitely hiding something, but he seems to be a little bit more adamant now, and he says, listen, I really don't know who you're talking about. And
Okay,
I think it would
okay.
be better if you not talk about it.
Okay, well, hold on just a minute. I wanted to let you know that our friend is no longer at the same place that he was, and instead he's gone to Orboro. So I don't think you'll be able to send him books there anymore.
Okay.
And then I'll hand him a slip of paper and write my address down on it and tell him, well, if you ever, want to talk to me about our friend, then you know where to find me.
Okay.
And I'll wave and say bye, and then head towards the shop.
He just shuts the door the second you're like off of his doorstep.
Well, he was not very nice.
So you walk back to the shop. You get back to the seamstress, and when you ask about your cloak, the human behind the counter, a man, stands up and says, "All done!" And he holds it up, and it looks really nice.
Oh, it's beautiful, you guys. Thank you so much.
He
And
blushes
I'll
a little
put
bit.
it on.
He says, or they both say, "You look stunning."
Well, thank you. Strike a pose for them.
They
And
they
then,
sort of they give you like little claps, a small round of applause.
I will thank them for entertaining me, and then bid them farewell, and head towards Twiddles and Fiddles.
So while you're walking there, Zachriel, you finish with most of the shopping except for your javelins.
Yep.
And you stride into the workshop of the gentleman that Gordon mentioned to you, a Servi Ron, spelled like this.
Yep.
So you walk in to the shop, and you see stout halfling behind the counter working a forge. The familiar sound of a hammer striking metal ringing in your ears. And he says, "Can I help you?" Ding!
Hello, Mr. Ron. Gordon sent me.
Ding! Wayshield Gordon?
Yes, I'm Zachary Vitals, Wayshield.
Shit. I'm a little behind on getting the shipment packaged up.
That's not why I'm here.
Oh?
Well, I know that we're expecting a shipment, but I'm kind of on a leave of absence, doing my own thing. Do you have any javelins for sale?
One moment. Gets off of the platform where the anvil is. He walks into a room, and he says, he just calls out from it, actually, and he says, got about 20 of them available.
Alright, just want to bring out 5 of those, please.
Sure thing. Comes out holding them in a bushel in his hand, or in his arms, and sets them on the counter, and you see him take a small thing of twine, and he wraps them just so that they don't fall apart. And
I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about making these a little more damaging to those who wear less armor? Have you ever seen a weapon that could deal more damage to?
You mean just with hooks and such?
Hang on, let me show you. I reach behind me and I undo the sword and I take the sword out and lay it on the counter. I have a sharp tooth sword.
That's one ugly weapon.
Yes it is, but brutally effective against people who are plate and no armor.
I imagine so. It would definitely tear flesh much more than just a cut. He inspects it. He says,
go ahead.
He takes it and inspects it, and he says, this is crude. I'm surprised this hasn't broken yet.
I haven't been using it. I favor the shovel.
The shovel?
Yes, the shovel. Would you like to inspect my shovel?
He's just like blinking.
I'll
Sure.
have you know that this shovel has killed 43 cultists, a werebore, an umbercolt, a couple of ogres, countless amounts of gnolls.
He says, it's just what you affectionately call a battle axe, right?
Nope. I take out the shovel and lay it on the counter.
And he looks at like the pointed end and he says, "Oh, I see." And he kind of like leans, looks over at it.
Be careful if you touch him. He has a mind of his own.
I'll take your word for it. But he looks at it a little bit more and he says, it has, from what I can see, it has impeccable craftsmanship for a tool. I mean,
want to know where I
weapons
found
are
it?
tools. Sure.
It was buried inside a rock creature.
You mean an earth elemental?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep.
And when he says that, a human walks in, and he says, "Hey, Servy." And then Servy says, "Mikhail, how you doing?" And the human walks
I take
behind
my shovel back.
walks behind the counter, and he says, "Well, I've got." He says, "Well, I've got some more." He says, "Well," he says, "I've got some more elementals that I think you want to try to work with. These ones are a little bit more stable." And Suri responds and says, "Oh, well, I don't know if I have time today. Maybe tomorrow." And then the human says, I'll just leave him. I'll leave the stones in the safe." And then Suri just nods
Are
at
you
him.
sure they're stable? Have you tried speaking to them? I just say out loud.
He looks at you and he says, "Oh, well, they're not actually." And he like says to you in Primordial, he says, "These particular spirits I drew from a place where they don't have much of sentience. They're more energy than life."
I just kind of give him a slow nod, like an acknowledgement.
Like he's saying this in a tone where you can tell he's sort of an academic.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, then I'll be back tomorrow then." And Servy says, "Yeah, sure thing." And the human leaves. And,
Before you leave, the Mikhail, was it?
Yeah.
Not all elementals are, or not all the sentient ones are evil. Some of them are actually quite playful. I have one on me right now.
He says, "Oh, I." And then like he's talking in common now. I know that. He says, they're mostly neutral, from what I've come to learn.
You wouldn't happen to know how to get one back to wherever they're summoned from?
He says, well, there is a spell that does that.
I don't know much about magic. All I know is my shovel can move earth. That's all I know.
He says it's quite a strong spell, though. You would need to probably have studied for quite a while.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Then he leaves. And the Servy looks up at you and he says, for the javelins, that'll be 2 gold, 5 silver.
Okay, that's fine. I understand you're in a rush here to finish the order, but very curious about this idea. Do you think you could, like, just do a quick weld on one of these javelins just to get some extra hooks on there, see if it has the same effect as the sword?
I mean, if you want me to put small harpoons on it, I can.
We can try that.
Sure, I'll take one of them, and I can probably do one up for you real quick. It'll take an hour or so.
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe another time. I have a very I don't know. I have to get home to my wife.
I understand.
Expecting these things. Well, thank you. Here's your. Is that 2 gold?
2 gold and 5 silver.
All right. Well, here's 3 gold.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
You sure you don't want another javelin?
Oh, you really know how to pull my arm. I'll take another one.
He just kind of like slips it under the sort of lash he's made. There you are.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I just kind of look around his shop. Does he have anything that like stands out as being?
Roll perception.
It's mostly weapons here, right?
It is mostly weapons. Nothing really stands out to you.
Hey, before I leave, survey.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be effective to put? I know this is going to sound weird with me bringing up spikes again, but I think it would be effective to put spikes on a shield.
He says, well, it's not unheard of. There are cultures that do it.
Interesting. I use my shield for a lot of things.
As any fighting man should.
That's right. The best defense, or the best offense is a good defense, right?
Depends on who you talk to. He gives you a little wink.
All right. I won't keep you from your work. Bye.
He says, goodbye. And then he kind of goes back to working on the armament he was working on in this forge. Stokes it a little bit.
Stoked.
Yeah.
All right, I leave. I head home.
Okay. You head home, you drop off the groceries. Meanwhile, Tadias, you make it to Twiddles and Fiddles.
I kind of push in the doorway, wave meekly to the people at the bar that I recognize, and just walk in and use a bucket and drink real fast.
You just order.
Sorry. Yeah, there I'm at. I was a little bit away from my thing. I was leaning over.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it. So you just order an ale, basically.
Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah, Gizo pours you one quickly. He sees the look on your face and he says, "You alright, Tadias?"
Hey, sure. Yeah, I'm fine. Totally good. How are you?
Fine. He looks over to Hum and Illyria.
You're looking a little flush over there, Tadias.
I mean, maybe it's just not being as porky anymore. That might be the effect. Maybe I look paler because of that. That's totally the reason.
Mm-mm.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you look like the cat that ate the canary.
I don't know the analogy. Take a big old sip. Just gulp.
Okay, we'll let you keep your secret.
So, what did you do today?
Oh, I tossed him over a little pouch of cornage. It's
What
for
is
you.
this?
I decided it was time that we broke up the carnage and we passed out some of this gold that I've been carrying. It's
Was it
about
too heavy?
209 pieces of gold. Have fun spending it.
Was it getting too heavy for you?
I'm a small gnome.
You could have just asked me to carry it, but I'm fine with this.
I figured you probably needed new items.
Yeah, we'll see. I
Maybe-
have some ideas.
Maybe you have a little somebody that you'd like to buy a gift for, and I laughed.
Hey, who would that be?
As you say that, Delia walks in. You're going to Twiddles and Fiddles, right?
Yes.
Okay. You walk in.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Delia. Ooh, you were right. It is
Wow.
sparkly.
I'm gonna show off my new cape.
That is the coolest cape ever, Delia. Can I try it on?
Of course you
Let's see
can.
this swirl.
That took no time. I go back to drinking.
I'm gonna put it on home.
I dance around the room in it, swinging it around.
I cast a light spell on it while she's doing that.
You cast.
And I
Say that again?
start singing a little
I cast
tune.
light on it while she's doing that, so it sparkles even more.
Ah.
Is the inside or the outside sparkle?
The
Is it?
inside words. I think the inside sparkles, right?
Yeah. So it's subtle on the outside, but then you can be like, blam!
So reversible.
Yes.
I do a
Reverse.
kablam in the light. Delia, this is the coolest cape ever, and I hand it back to her. This is gonna be fantastic on her.
I know, right? I figured I should probably go for something a little more subtle. But this is still totally me.
It is so you. I pull out of my pack her wizard cap that I've been holding for her since she was wearing the orc's cap, and I put it on her head. It's perfect.
Well, you know, this one has a hood, and if you wanted to keep the wizard hat, you could.
Hum tackles Delia and hugs her and says, "Thank you so much!"
I'll hug him back.
And I pull out of my pocket a pouch of gold and I hand it to her. This is free.
You know the hat's
Oh,
not worth
see if
that
she
much.
needs those gems and stuff. Stone.
Oh no, this is the gold that we've been collecting. This
Oh,
is
okay.
all of our gold. I broke up the party fund so that everybody would be carrying some money.
This is pretty heavy. We must have gotten a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. It's about 210 gold pieces.
And I'm back.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome back.
It's 209 to be exact.
There's 9.
I'm going to do a time warp and say that this is the point where Zachriel, you come in. Floriana is not. She's totally chill. You got her groceries. She gives you a hug and a kiss, and you say goodbye.
Yeah.
Not goodbye, but
I also leave her 165 gold.
oh my god. Okay. She is overwhelmed at this, and she says, "We can get the contractors working right away."
Yes.
And she's just so like blown away by this. She's just like, just giving you a big hug, and then she says, she looks over and she says, she like calls out, "Cedric, you're gonna get your own room!" And he like, "Yeah!" And they all just kind of like happily celebrate over the fact before you head out.
Alright, I'm going back to town. Meet up with all my friends. Be back later. Have a good night. Good to see you before you're all asleep before I get back.
No problem. Have a good time.
Alright. Wanna come?
Does Mike want to roleplay her? She says,
I mean, if you got things to do, it's fine. Go next time.
she says, I'll take you up on that next time.
Alright.
Okay, so we'll fast forward a bit. You walk back to town. The sun is starting to set. You get back to Twiddles and Fiddles. You walk in, and you're all in the same room.
Hello. I'm free.
She let you go. Look at that.
Yeah, I gave her 165 gold, of course. Appreciate
You know,
it.
that'll do it too. If you want to give me 765 gold, I can let you free too. Let you do whatever you want.
Oh, you're not my type.
Yeah, unfortunate. I'm not bacon now. Would have done better if I was still bacon.
Yeah, probably. Actually, pretty hungry.
Sit down, I'll get you something. Because you're now broke.
Oh, I have 50.
Oh,
Sorry,
Wait,
no
so-
pork. It's chicken today.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Chicken.
He's nice. Feels like we've been running from crisis to crisis. Good to have a break. So what did everyone do today and what Delia did? You want to give a twirl for Zachriel real quick? Doesn't matter a dime.
You want to give
What the
what to
heck?
what?
Twirl.
Twirl?
Oh. You see Delia and new duds.
Oh, yes. Check out my new cape.
Very stylish.
Thank you.
Is it knife proof?
I don't think so.
Oh. Perhaps we should get you some chain to put underneath. And tape a shield to you.
Shield to her. We have some glue.
And chains.
Permanently glue a shield to you.
I mean, we have those beautiful shackles that are never going to be used again. Unless, of course,
I'm sure Tadias could find a use.
They can find use for anything.
I toss them over the glittery rainbow shackle.
Just catch them in the air and bag them.
Oh, I meant to tell you guys, I found the guy who was sending books to Renwick. He's not very nice.
Sounds odd.
Does he have the information about where his phylactery is?
I seriously doubt it. He wasn't very friendly. But I do have all of these books, and one of them is on Samular. So we should be able to get some information from that.
If not, I can make him a little loquacious.
Maybe you should. He didn't seem very happy to see me.
Delia, you've only seen Hum in certain scenarios. She's very persuasive.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Oh, I have very bad news for you.
What?
Well, you see, I went to the Wayshield's office. My wife's a Wayshield now, by the way.
Congratulations!
Well, that's good news. I asked Gordon if the engine was still in the shed.
Oh no, did it get stolen?
No, he returned it.
Oh, awesome! I'll split up the gold.
I told him that he would have to deal with you on this one. He didn't get a return on the deposit. He didn't even know there was a deposit. He's over in the office right now doing paperwork.
Angry and gnome. Oh, God.
Maybe I need to go visit him.
Gizo, can I get 2 more, please?
I will warn you, he's
Sure.
he may look old. He's very powerful.
Maybe I'll let him off the hook.
It was an honest. Well, I mean, he did take the initiative to bring it back. He didn't have to do that. Perhaps we could just go up there and ask for a deposit back.
That
You must
may be
realize
an
that was
idea.
something, right?
Yeah, you have the receipt, right?
There was a receipt.
I assume.
It's more of a verbal agreement.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's
Kind
done.
of. I think we're out our gold.
Doesn't hurt to try. We could go ask Marshal Gorbash to come.
If not, I can be very persuasive.
Although, keep in mind that the engine was broken. Gordon didn't mention anything about any charges.
It was only missing an elemental.
Do you know how much those are?
From what I understand, pretty free.
Ilya, how much are elementals?
The material costs to summon them. Illyria and Delia can both make checks. Delia, I mean, you're overhearing this, so you can make an Arcana check.
Would I know from working with Dimitri?
You would. So you can roll Arcana as well.
Okay.
And Illyria can roll History.
Would this be considered magical?
What'd you say?
Oh, never mind. It's the wrong check.
Alright, so Illyria and Delia, you both know that ripping an elemental from the inner planes is quite a task. And it's not so much the actual conjuring of the elemental as much as it is getting them complacent. And you know that the gear required to do this and the processes required to do this, the whole process in and of itself, it costs about, at this stage, it costs about 100 gold per elemental. But that varies depending on the type and the amount of energy required. So the ballpark is 100 gold.
Well, usually it's 100 gold. Somewhere in that range. So pretty
Thanks.
expensive.
Yeah, I just give that away.
You can't count the cost of getting rid of a whole cult, though, right?
Some things are just priceless.
Diesel, I'm gonna need something stronger than ale.
He's just like, he's grimacing and he's just like, coming up.
Apparently I'm not very good at speaking to anyone.
No, just women, friend. That's all.
Oh. Well, I managed to get married, so
I
did something right.
pat Zachariel on the shoulder and I say, it's okay. It's not your fault.
Does something else have you upset, Tom?
Just business.
Strong like ox, charming like trash can. I understand.
And a drink for my friend, Diesel.
Coming up. You're running a tab, just so you know.
We would never sleep.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, so he pours something for Zachariel.
So I've been away from you guys. What's been happening the last day or so? Anything interesting? Any news other than today's business with the archaeology?
Oh my gosh, I forgot I haven't even told you, Zachariel. There's some half-elf woman running around here pretending like she's a better bard than me.
That is impossible.
You're a good man, Zachariel. She has
I've made a lot of mistakes I've learned over the years.
She has a strange symbol on her chest.
Sounds like a cultist.
I know, right? And so I draw the half circle for her. And something strange is going on over in the hills south of Conadere Forest.
Oh,
The climate's being funny.
well, we're going to Conadere next.
Yes, we have to handle.
Well, after we handle, we can head south and check out the hills.
Well, if we're heading south already, I might have a job for us. Kind of
Gonna
security.
take you back.
Does that job want to head into the middle of Orkland?
Not immediately.
So you,
Does
this is the archaeologist?
They want to be over here, though, not over there.
They don't want to experience the trip of a lifetime into Conadare Forest?
Actually, they were more going over to, what's it called? Mortrath, and heading west from there.
Why?
It's along the coastal road. There's a site, a dig site that they want to visit. They visit it every once in a while.
You know that they visit it annually around this time because the spring, for some reason, the mud of the barren bog kind of churns up artifacts, like archaeological artifacts, not D&D artifacts.
Does Tadias blush at all when he talks about these people?
When he's talking about the job, he's very serious. When he talks about the people, there's a little bit of a fluster. So yes, the job is very simple. We just take the people who are not as well armed as us down south. We make sure they get there safely, and then I think we are good to head back northward and see Canadier. They're heading out in
Who are
a
these
couple
people?
days. Well, one of them is a dear friend, and the other ones are just coworkers, you know.
A dear friend.
Yes,
Hmm.
What is
dear.
their name?
He's Miss Greer. She's a associate of mine.
Why are you getting all flustered?
It is
Stumbling over your words.
Is she requested that I go, and I wanted to bring you along and introduce you.
Oh, she requested that you. I guess she wants to go south with you.
Zachariel, you're. I need
At least you're no longer bacon.
Guido, I will take the hard thing that Tom just got, please.
A few minutes later, he
Listen.
pours it into your glass, and it's just this really strong drink.
Jedias, it's as I said to you earlier in the street. You see the one you know it's time. Go for it.
Oh, does Tadias have a crush on someone?
What it sounds like.
She's just a work associate, and I'm very concerned, and I want her to be safe.
Right.
That's all.
If you wish, we will accompany you to help protect your associate, by air quote.
That is all I ask, so thank you.
But first we have
We have to what?
Conadare Forest.
I don't believe Canadier Forest is a 2-day trip.
Neither is this.
Well,
Exactly. They don't need protection once they're there, they need it on the way. And as I know, yours doesn't immediately have a deadline.
what do you mean?
Whatever's happening in Canadier Forest will continue to happen in 3 days.
Jedias, come over here with me. Just away from...
I stand up and kind of walk with them, questioning what's happening.
I pull him away out of earshot, and I try to whisper to him to not upset anyone in the room. I'm going to bury Valeria's brother.
Is there some
Do I have
reason-
super hearing?
I'm trying to, like I'll roll sleight of hand if I have to. I'm trying to whisper.
I mean, it's up to you guys. You can contest if you want. Does it? I mean, Illyria, you
I'm
see, huh?
Leant into him, covering his ear with my hand to his ear.
And it's just gonna be like, you're just gonna get like a super. You're gonna get bonus and like you're gonna get advantage and a bonus. And Illyria, you'd have to roll straight if you really want to somehow catch what he's saying.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a slight chance you're gonna have. I mean, the way he's describing it, it'd be pretty hard for Illyria to hear. But you do notice them walk off.
Let's see that green number. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I kind of know what's going on.
That doesn't. Okay, so I mean, you can roll You could roll insight if you wanted to.
Insight's probably your better bet.
Insight would be very appropriate as well.
Oh, sure, why not?
Okay. You know why they walked away. With the talk of Conadir Forest, I mean, it's pretty clear. So let's finish
So I guess that kind of reminds me, like, should I go back to that temple or whatever, talk to that old lady? Like, where's his body at this point?
I mean, you left it there, and she told you she would take care of it. So, it's up to it's on you to go back there. I mean, even if you want, like, we can say, for the sake of time, that you did that today.
Yeah, I was thinking that I should have done that. Go and talk to her, see what, how do we transport her body, I guess?
Yeah, so, way shields are in a bit of demand. So, here's the thing. You did, I mean, we have a lot of time to work with in the day because I had glossed over a lot of hours. So we can say that, you did head over to the temple before you met up with Hum. Let me change the music a bit. In the temple, and I wrote this down so that I knew what would happen. So, the cleric of Corellin, Melda Mirthtree, she has the funeral rite for Altosi ready. When you return back to the temple, the small little chapel, she shows you that she has constructed a casket that is lashed together branches. So from your time in the woods that this is something that is meant to return his body to the earth. She informs you that she doesn't want to leave the temple because she's pretty much the only person. She's the only pious person there, or a highly pious person. And she also doesn't really know where to start looking in the forest for this bright leaf tree.
Yeah, okay. I guess I wouldn't know where this tree is either. Whatever.
I mean, you're a woodswoman, so you have the means to track it down. It would just take some time.
Okay.
And she does say that she actually gives you some advice, and she says there are the loggers that work at Tamarer. Many of them are woodsmen and have been out to deep into the woods to scout around for potential sites for tree farming, for lumber. So there's a decent chance that one of them might have seen one. And
okay, I tell her thank you.
she says that it'll be here for her. Maybe she says she says that the temple's coffers don't really have much to offer in way of getting folks to transport the casket, but she says she'll try to help in any way she can. So did you get all that?
Yep, I
Okay.
did.
So we'll go back to the bar. So you know all that.
Is there something about the season that we need the burial? Why exactly now?
Jedias, what happens to a body when it's left for too
A lot
long?
of things, but there's also clerics that can keep it completely the same way for months.
Do we know that's happening?
I don't know. Illyria was very shy about opening up any of this to us.
I brought you over here. I don't think it's
Like
over.
this. I think you should probably talk to her and see what she wants.
All right, I just want to help her get this done. You know, Kanadir is a dangerous place.
If she wants my
I'm
help,
gonna
I will
take
have it.
okay. I'm gonna take a drink and just kind of look over to Ham and be like, "Have you ever lost anybody close to you?"
You forget I'm an orphan.
But you would have friends, maybe that passed on. No.
I lost both of my parents.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Now, did Illyria forget that, or did Nyx forget that? Because
I forgot it.
one is much more excusable than the other. Okay. Sometimes I have to look back into your backstories to remember key details, so we won't hold it against you.
How did you just go on?
I don't know. I had to live. I was a small gnome in a village, and people weren't treating me well. And so I came to the city. That's how I became a bard. It was more about survival than thinking about how to go on.
We have no other family around?
Nope, it's just me in this world. That's why I love you guys so much. That's why when we lost Carahel, it was so hard.
I
I
mean,
wonder how she's doing.
you can visit her anytime.
That's why when I thought we were going to lose Zachriel, I reacted the way I did. Because you guys are my family.
Delia puts an arm around him.
I put my arm around Hum too.
I think at this point the boys come
I
back.
feel the same way.
Sometimes family isn't about where you're born or who you started out with. It's about the people you surround yourself with.
Zachariah, you hear that as you walk back to them. I assume you're walking back to them, yeah?
You're absolutely right.
The Zachariel and Tadias return to you guys after you have this tender moment.
Whispers to Illyria, I'm sorry I couldn't save Altosi, and she takes a big drink of her.
That's okay. At least we tried.
By the way, I'm probably going to have a very big house very soon, so if you ever want to just come over and stay or whatever, it'll be fine.
Stands up on the stool and jumps at Zachariel and puts her arms around his neck, and she says, "Thank you."
You're welcome. I actually have a space in my house that you might like. I use it for storage, but since we're going to have a bigger home now and more space, it'll be very similar to your small room. How do you feel
Gizo
about
kind of
living underground?
Gizo kind of overhears this and just kind of like frowns a bit.
It's gonna be one full house you've got there.
It's already
Yeah.
full.
The more the merrier.
Thank you, Zach, but I have Gizo. He's been like a father to me for years.
Out of the corner of your eye, Tadias, you see Gizo just kind of like purse his lips and nod like, yeah, that's right.
Well, once all the repairs are finished, we'll have to have you and Gizo over for dinner or something. Or party.
Gizo, I think we need a round of the strong stuff for everybody.
You got it. Puts a round ahead of this really very very strong but very sweet honeyed whiskey.
Mhm.
I take it, I down it.
Same.
Everyone gets blasted. So as you're getting blasted, this is just the DM speaking. Since like out of game, since Hum will be not herself next session. Need you guys to figure out maybe at the end of tonight what you're gonna do next. Since it seems like there's a fork, apparently.
Dun dun dun.
I mean, it just helps me prepare stuff. Plus, I want kitties to have a say in it.
Do we want to do just an out of character vote? Raise hands?
Up to you guys. You can role play it out, or you can do that way.
Straw poll.
Straw poll. I'm not gonna take the time to set up a straw poll.
Wow.
Literally, just
Shoot.
do it now.
Mike, I missed what you were all saying. What were we doing?
Because kitties cannot join us next week, I wanted to have you guys decide in some way, either in RP or out of character decision, what you're going to do next. Because there's a fork ahead of you. Because there's either going west to Tomer and Conadir Forest to bury Altosi and follow up on that bard, or go east to roll then down to Mortraeth to follow Tadias's crush.
But when you say it like that, mine doesn't sound that good.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's, you know.
Well, my character wants to go with the crush. I think we should actually head out west and deal with the forest, though.
I mean, you can roleplay it out if you want. I mean, or we can decide as a group. You guys can decide as a group now out of character and then play out the conversation. It's up to you. However you want to do it.
I pull out a coin.
What's that for?
Heads, we go east. Tails, we go west.
Give
I
it
like
a
these
chance.
odds.
I feel like you're the right person to flip that.
You can roll a d20, odds, heads, evens, tails.
Which is which?
What was heads?
Heads is
East.
east.
Hold on. Don't do anything. Actually, better yet. Hold on. Sorry. I just want this written down.
Although I would hate to go to the forest without kitties there, though. Without Hum.
I mean, you have a whole town to deal with, too. Don't worry, I know what I'm going to do for Kitty's absence so she doesn't miss too much important stuff.
Bunch of murder on the road.
I
It's
mean...
okay. Somebody can play. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
Well, if you want to flip it.
so at a game, we're leaving this up to... Actually, oh no, in character, you're leaving this up to Illyria. Alright, sounds good to me. looks like you're going to join Katie Colger.
Oh, perfect. I love stumbling for another 4 weeks.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be. So, what is your plan in that regard? Are you just gonna make sure they get there, or are you going to join them for the dig? Because they're gonna be there. Like you, she. I guess I didn't make this clear. She expressed to you that she's gonna like be there for a while.
What's a while?
Several 10 days.
Well, if that's the case, we can get them there and we can come back and collect them later. I don't want to leave that body that long.
Okay.
But you said the clerics can preserve his body?
They can. There are spells that do it in the rituals.
And
so
if you
technically don't
remember,
cost
she did. She used a spell called
Gentle Repose.
Gentle Repose. So
Okay.
Altosi is more or less suspended.
Okay, so he's fine then.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're still kind
No,
of.
but
I mean, you still feel like that pit, but yeah, he's fine.
we're pretty much doing like the drive out to the airport for a friend. We're
Pretty
taking him
much.
to the airport and then we're going to pick him up back there later.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm not trying to, like, say let's spend 3 weeks digging in a bog.
Yeah. Okay. We still have some time. So, you guys, go ahead and keep RPing out unless everyone is just kind of drinking the night away and then heads back to their homes.
So the coin lands. Look at it. Well, looks like you get to be a way shield for a little bit. I kind of punch him in the arm.
Oh, I guess I'll have to get you rookie badges.
Oh, wonderful. Are
No.
they like child-sized?
Yours,
Junior cadet.
junior cadet, junior deputy, Tedias.
Junior deputy to the dice. I can deal with this. As long as there's no paperwork, I'm not sitting for it.
Well, what it means is since I'll be your superior officer, you'll have to do all my paperwork.
You know what? I don't think I need to be a junior cadet.
Are you sure?
I'm good right now.
Have you ever seen me do paperwork?
I have not, but I think you would find a way to get paperwork to make me do it.
I want to be the HGIC.
What does that mean?
Head gnome in charge.
Yes, you can be that.
Aren't you already?
Everyone's too afraid of you to say no.
Well, Delia might take the title later. She's new, but she's promising.
I will share my title with her.
There you go. Head gnomes in charge.
Gnome
I like
power.
I like it.
But how I understand it, their expedition isn't starting until the day after tomorrow, so now we get to rest, enjoy a little bit of shopping, spend this, I hold up my little sack of money, new coin, and we can meet up and be ready for that.
All right. Yeah, we'll start the next day, next session. But while we have like 5 minutes left of, game time, so, what do you guys plan to do the next day?
Oh, I want to go to the traveling merchant.
Okay,
Find that mango.
find that mango.
Yep.
I'm gonna go kit buying.
Do you know what?
I'm buying tools.
Got it.
Needs to buy some supplies.
Delia is probably just gonna read the lore books.
You
I
guys,
guess I spend that day with my daughter and stepson.
can you call him your stepson?
I don't know.
Maybe like, his dad's still alive.
Pseudo son.
Maybe like step nephew.
Step nephew, yeah.
I was thinking more pseudo son. He's
Interesting.
kind of like a son, but
The
not really.
son I never had.
The son you
There
never
you go.
had. Okay. Nobody's
Maybe I'll
gonna
work on that.
nobody's gonna turn the screws on Zio.
I don't even know who he is.
It's true. Only Delia
Ooh,
knows.
we could. No,
There's
I
a
told them all about
suggestion
him.
from the audience that it's a foster son.
Ah, it works.
Gee,
Yeah.
I wonder who suggested
But does
that.
it work if I'm also fostering his parents?
Yeah, the foster parents that are also children.
You're fostering the whole family.
Yeah.
Foster family. It's the fostering the foster family.
By the way, hi, Joy.
I don't-
Hi, Joy.
Okay. If you guys
Yeah.
come up with anything you want to do in town, let me know in the interim.
The screws on the librarian might be worth it.
You know, I only thought that family was going to stay with me for a little while, but I like where this is going.
Yeah, it's a cute little arc.
We're going to start our own community.
You guys do remember I have that soul of that cultist. We can scare him.
I thought it only lasts for like 24 hours.
No, it only lasts.
We're going to start our
No,
own
once
community.
you capture a shadow with this feature, you can't capture another one until you finish a shorter one.
Oh,
Then
so
it
just
doesn't.
big bank.
I'm going to call it Fifth
Wait,
Stride,
so can you?
New community.
I gotta read that because that makes me think that you can just keep collecting souls.
No, I can only have one at a time.
Okay, got
My
it.
It's
God.
literally, like, in like the roster bank, and then when she collects a new one or uses that one, it's expended.
Like Nightmare. Soul Calibur.
Jesus.
A little bit.
I mean, it's
Wait a
not really
minute.
a soul. It's just like a visage.
Actually, I can actually capture. Wait, it doesn't say how many I can have.
Oh Jesus! So you can have a Rolodex of soul things.
We're
I'm gonna put this up.
visages. Okay, Mantle Whispers, Persona, magically capture shadow, can use shadows in action, then
You retain the
does-
shadow until you use it, or you finish a long rest.
Oh, so it's gone.
Rip.
Sorry.
We're going to have to get you a new soul.
You're gonna have to kill somebody. I mean, you're gonna have to kill somebody.
Hey, you have based on how this is going, you have a full day dealing with that bard if she's a cultist.
They're not. They're not in town.
I know, but when we find her, if that is a cultist, she can kill her, and then she can go do a bunch of embarrassing stuff as her.
That's hilarious.
Oh no, we're gonna kill her, and I'm gonna become her, and that's how we're going to penetrate the cult.
Ah, that works as well. What, she's some religious order that's like purging the forest of orcs or something. And she's just perfect in every single way. That'd be bad. Either way, I think we got everything we need mostly.
All right. Everything you said about what you're doing tomorrow, just type it up in a message because I'm gonna forget otherwise. So, yes, thank you, Joy, and anyone else watching for watching.
Joy and friends.
Joy and friends. So we'll see you next time for another session of role playing because I don't think we're gonna see combat for a bit. So, good night.
Goodbye.
See you in 2 weeks.
All right. You know,